Do you even saddle stitch, bro?
5 Tool Tuesday.
Today I thought, instead of giving you guys just a list of 5 tools, I would give you a list of 5 tools as well as show you how to use them. I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube about how to saddle stitch, but they're missing one piece that in my method is an essential piece and seems to be forgotten about in a lot of the tutorials that are online. Not that it's forgotten about, but just not used. In my opinion, a traditional saddle stitch is done with a stitching awl. I learned how to saddle stitch from this book before YouTube had any tutorials. So the way that I'm going to teach you how to saddle stitch today is the traditional way, how a saddle maker would have done it before sewing machines. So yes, we are going to use 5 tools because it is 5 Tool Tuesday, and yes, there is still a bonus tool. I'm just going to list them off in order of appearance. Number 1, wing dividers. Number 2, the stitch groover. Number 3, the stitching pony. Number 4, the stitching awl. And number 5, harness needles. Oh yeah, and here's your bonus tool.
Bonus tool.
The thread snips. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to hold the stitching awl in one hand and we're going to punch the holes as we go along the stitching line. Stick around and I'll show you how to do that.
First, scribe your line with the wing dividers. Then, mark your stitches with the stitching wheel. When you're done, it should look pretty tight.
Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is plop our work into the stitching pony. Then we're going to take our thread. We're going to say, okay, it's about that longish, and we're going to times that by 4. I like to have a little extra because it makes it a little easier to hang on to. Take our thread snips. I'm using Ritza Tiger thread, silver on black, so hopefully you guys can see what we're doing. So thread the needle, pierce the thread with the needle, like so. So now you can see that the thread is pierced by the needle here, and the thread is going through the eye of the needle here. I'm just going to take that little thing and pull it through. The wax, because it's wax thread, keeps that tightened together, and your thread will stay on your needle. Repeat the process. Put that down. We're going to pick up our stitching awl and we're going to find a hole, poke that through, and we're going to do it twice. So they're marked. Poke it through 2 holes at first. I'm going to take this first needle, push it through, hold them up so you've got even amount of thread on each side, like so. Then you're going to push the next needle through, like so. The line going through there, up to the next needle, and I've got this needle between these fingers. This needle is there, and I'm going to adjust that one and push that through the same hole, making sure that I'm not piercing the thread. Then I loop this around, so I'm essentially tying a knot. Okay, so we've got our knot being tied. Now we take our stitching awl, the next hole, like that. Pull it out. This time I don't put my stitching awl down, so I keep the stitching awl in my one hand, and now I push past that one through the hole, this next one through the hole. Then this loops around that needle, pull it through. You're not going to pull it too tight. Pulling it too tight is going to make it so your stitch looks too strained. Push it through. Again, passing the needles through. Passing the needles, other needle through, not piercing the thread. Loop around and pull through. And pull firmly, not tightly. We're repeating this process. There we go. Pull it again. When I push the awl through, I find the mark, put these 2 fingers on either side of the needle. So it's kind of like that. So I don't pierce my fingers. We've all done it. It hurts. There we go. loop around, essentially tying a knot in each one. I usually take the thread and I pull it down so I can pass my needle through past the thread. We're going to loop that around. See that? So that loop is actually going around the needle. You can pull that through, not too tight. Now I'm going to finish off this line. It's my last hole. There we go. Now I'm going to back stitch. So I go back. When I do a back stitch, I pull it tight so that I'm not passing through any thread. There we go. And the back stitch, because there's already so many lines of thread, it's always a little trickier. And then I'll back stitch it twice. So I'll do 2 back stitch through 2 holes, pull that right through. Next one comes in, and I pull that through like so. So now I've back stitched 2, and then it's the third one here. I do only one side, because this is the good face. Right, so this is the side you're going to see. This is the outside stitch, and I'm going to pull that through that side, and I won't pass the other side through. So I've got 2 threads coming out on this side. Take my snippers,
Bonus tool.
snip them, and there you have it. We have a lovely saddle stitch. A couple finishing moves here, and take those 2 little threads right there
Bonus tool.
and just burn them, melt them in. There you go, and those are not going to come out. And our last little finishing move here, we're going to take those beautiful stitches that we just did, and we're going to pop them onto an anvil or something else that's
Bonus tool.
heavy and flat. We're going to take our hammer
Bonus tool.
and just flatten those stitches out. So that we have nice, flat, slanted, beautiful stitches. Thanks for watching this episode of 5 Tool Tuesday. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Share it with your friends if you can. Or maybe you have a friend who uses hole punches and you think they would enjoy this method. Thanks for watching this episode of 5 Tool Tuesday, and until next time, I'll be me and you be you.